Good day, I'm Anahata. I'm a spiritual mentor, a trauma recovery coach, and a psychic medium. Yesterday I made a video talking of the 6 phases of determining whether or not you are with a narcissistic abuser. And today we're going to break that down, and I'm going to go into phase 1, the idealization phase. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the basis of how it is you would attract a narcissist. Typically, one who would attract a narcissist has the same wound from childhood as the narcissist. So you both have this voided, empty part of you that was robbed from childhood. However, you have very polarizing experiences as far as how you cope with it. A narcissist tends to exploit and abuse and use people to fulfill that need. And an egoist, which is the opposite of the narcissist, it's more introverted narcissism, where they will exploit themselves and subject themselves to the abuse. And all of these traits are conditioned from childhood. So if you are not aware of these inner child woundings, if you have not done your work, then you may very well be attracting a narcissist, and you can tell immediately on the idealization phase whether or not you are with a narcissist. You may notice an immediate connection with a narcissist. If you feel the butterflies activated in your belly, this is not a telltale sign that you are in love and that you've met the love of your life. In fact, butterflies in the stomach is a trauma response where your sacral chakra, your sexual energy, is letting your nervous system know, is telling the messages to your brain, wow, this person may be able to fulfill my needs. That's the inner child trauma speaking. And it does not signify that this is a healthy attachment. In fact, quite the opposite. You may find this relationship to be very quick moving. You may sleep together very early on, as sleeping with someone can speed up the emotional attachment. They may invite you to move in with them very early on before really ever getting to know you. You may experience love bombing, all of these future faking, these promises of future down the line. I wish to marry you. I want to have kids with you. I see us doing this. I see us doing this together. All of these little breadcrumbs of promises that leave you feeling emotionally invested but are not ever anything tangible, at least not in the present. They may invest a lot of money into you. They may give you money. They may spend a lot of money on dates, take you on fancy dates. They may buy you a lot of really nice gifts. They may parade you around their family, their friends, their work. They'll invest a lot of time and energy into you. They'll ask you a lot of questions. They'll want to get to know every single little bit and piece of information about you and your life. They want to know about your skills, your talents, your creative abilities. They'll show a heavy interest in your future ambitions and goals, your desires, your wants. They may even tell you they love you really early on in the relationship. You see, it really takes time, at least 6 solid months of getting to know someone, whether or not they are emotionally stable. You have to go through some pretty hard and dark times with a person to see how they deal with it. Because early on, if a person is lighting you up with all of these fantasies and love and promises without really going through a life experience with them, you really don't know them. So the narcissist quickens the entire process in the very early stages because of how emotionally available you are. So if you really look at it, if you are not aware of this, what they're doing is emotionally exploiting you to get you to be convinced that they love you. And you may be convinced that you love them, but you can't just get to know a person in just a short amount of time. That's not real life. And what the egoist doesn't realize is they also cast an idealized version of the person they're getting to know, usually through potential. And you can't love a person through their potential. You need to love them as they are. And that's why a narcissist presents themselves as being a person, the best version of themselves right up front, so you will be convinced that this is who they are. And the reason they really get to know you and invest in you and show all of these interests in you is because they're picking up all of these bits of information about you, all of your characteristics, your mannerisms, your words, your phrasing, songs you like, the way that you dress, the way that you eat, what you eat, where you go. They copy you. They are getting to know you so they can mirror you, which is step 2. I'm not going to go too far into that just yet. But the idealization phase is merely a setup for the step 2. This is why doing the inner child work and doing the healing is so important, so you can be discerning and have your intuition show you who this person is. No healthy person will want to rush a process to having a healthy relationship. This is why it's important to have boundaries, why it's important to know who you are, to have a strong sense of self, to have clear communication right up front, and to demand your needs to be met by yourself, not by this other person. So if you find yourself wounded and meeting people and expecting other people to meet your needs just because it's more convenient, be prepared for the outcome to not be all love and light. In order to be completely happy, content, in a healthy relationship, we have to be completely self-sustaining. And a narcissist preys on the emotional available who are deeply wounded. They will exploit your wounds and your traumas if you're not careful. The idealization phase is just a phase. It is not who they are.